For the weekend of January 11th, 2014, let's take a look at how the markets ended for the Friday session. You see the Dow almost unchanged. Nasdaq was up 0.44%. S&P 500 was up also. See that gold had a nice session. So did crude oil. And what's interesting is take a look at this drop here as far as the VIX is concerned. What's up with that? So maybe this might be a bullish sign for the market. This almost 6% drop on the VIX, maybe it's nothing, and maybe it has something to do with the options expiration coming up this following week. Now let's take a look at how the markets finished the week. We see for the week, the Nasdaq was up 1%. The Dow was down, almost unchanged for the week. And you see for the week, S&P 500 was up 0.6%. Now, what's interesting is if we take a look at the yearly performance in the market since the beginning of the year, we see that S&P 500 down 0.3%. Take a look at for the year, the Dow is down about 0.08%. And we see that the Nasdaq is down or almost unchanged for the year. The reason why I bring this up is take a look at the following markets in terms of their annual or year performance to date. Of course, it's been about a week since we opened the new year, but take a look at this performance for the airline index for the year so far, up 6%. Take a look at biotech. Biotech is also up 6% for the year. And then take a look at the XLF, which is up almost 1% for the year. So these are some of the sectors in the market that are doing well. And we do need to keep watching those sectors for breakout stocks, because leadership does mean that those sectors are producing very good movement within the sector, as individual stocks are the ones pushing the sector higher. Now let's take a look at the Nasdaq Daily. The Nasdaq still remains very well above the breakout level here. So this is a strong market, holding above the 13-year high somewhere in that area. This means that the market still continues being healthy despite what some of us expecting the market to pull back. If you take a look at the Dow Weekly, the Dow still remains above its weekly buy point. Very nice action there, staying above the breakout level there of about 16,086. What I was watching here, and we are still developing this double top. If it stays the double top, this might be a reason to start looking for short ideas in the market. So we closed with the beginning of what could be a double top, or maybe the market breaks out here and trades above 69.10. Who knows? But for now, seems like double top forming there on the weekly RSI. The daily on the Nasdaq, actually the daily on the Dow, looks very healthy, as you can see, holding above the breakout level there. Very nice. We seem to be forming some type of a wedge here, and maybe eventually we break out there, who knows, but it seems healthy. The market is holding above the breakout level and very tight action since the all-time highs on the Dow. I look at the S&P 500, and you see that the weekly still remains above the 10-week moving average. The daily still remains above 1810, which was this level here. So the market is holding very well, holding right now above the 13-week moving average. All this to say the market continues staying healthy. I don't see anything that says the market wants to go down based on that chart. Also, if you take a look at the S&P 500 from an hourly basis, you see that we've been trending pretty much in this general area since we began the year. You know, the bulls are not in control, the bears are not in control. The market is just in a range, and eventually it's going to decide which way it wants to go. As of Friday's trading, looks like this could be a breakout there on the hourly, which might suggest movement to the upside short term. Also, I look at the MACDs. You'll see that the MACDs are both above zero here and also above zero here on both MACD timeframes, which might suggest that the market could have a good push come Monday, Tuesday's action. So we'll see what happens at the beginning of the week. Now let's take a look at Apple, and just as a follow-up from the last couple of videos I've made, if we take a look at the stock, same scenario. We've been talking about backtest failing here. This hasn't changed. The stock still continues pushing lower because of that backtest failure. Also, this area here was always going to be problematic. Remember, I talked about it's going to go above the blue line and back below it. That's exactly what is taking place. This area here is significant because the last time it rolled below that level is here, which happens to be this break here above 560, 570, and also in the 2008 level here, while it was trading at about 160, somewhere in that range, it fell all the way to about 88. So this level has been challenging for the stock in recent history, and I think it's going to continue being giving us a sell signal. Remember, this is a long-term monthly chart going back 2007. A look at the weekly continues giving us the same bearish look and feel. As you can see, we've been talking about this back test being resistance. That has been correct. There continues to be correct. Also was back test resistance here on this line I'm drawing, which is that level here, which was also a break, an extension of the break line there. It happens to be this level here, which is resistance. Let's take a look at the daily. And the daily, as you can see, seems to be a trend line here. If you take the daily closing lows, the stock is either going to find support here or it's going to break down. So that trend line has not been broken. A trend line has been broken on the daily RSI. So that's a break right there. And that break could push this stock lower. So we'll see whether it's going to find support on this price channel lows here. We see that on the daily, it seems to have broken the RSI support level here. If we take a look at the MACDs, they don't look very good because you can see below zero here, about to crack below zero here on the other MACD setting. So one is bearish, one is about to move back below zero, which would not be a sign of strength for this popular stock. Let's take a look at the Qqq Hourly. And what I want to talk about here is, seems to be forming some type of a wedge on the hourly like that, and also if you draw a wedge like that. So as we go into options expiration, expect either a breakout or a failure below that line, or we might get a fake move in one direction and then the main move is going to be in the opposite direction. So expect options expiration week coming up to be tricky for market participants, because we see the market coming into the week in a wedge type formation. So one way or the other, we get either a push above that wedge or a break below that wedge. I look at the RSI hourly here. We've seen that we need to break out above that level or that level. You see there's also a wedge on the hourly here. So one way or the other, we're either going to blast out of this range and move higher, or we're going to crack and go below that level. So we'll see how the new week is going to begin.